Hey everybody, welcome to lesson 2 of my 5 strategies to level up your game. This one is called the art of the introduction. Now, it's definitely an art, and that's really, really important you think about it. So you meet somebody new, and a couple of things always happen. It's really important to know they always happen the exact same way. Number one, what's your name? Number two, what do you do? So often, if you could harness that moment, you can experience what I do. It's called the $101,000 handshake. You can either say hi and get a buck because you screwed it up, or two, you can get $100,000. Now, it's not quite that simple, but I will tell you, when you do this, number one, you're going to want to network more, and two, you're going to get better results from your networking. I often say that your net worth is your net worth. Well, you got to meet people, you got to be engaging, you got to be interested or interesting. And give you a couple of principles that I just live by. So one of the first ones has to do with your name. So often, many of you will say, "Hi, my name is," and nice to meet you. No money, and nice to meet you. What was your name? And then it's very hard for someone to ask you again. I literally stood at the party after I haven't heard somebody's name, going, "Somebody please mention it," because if you know someone's name or they remember yours, there's a likability factor that's just there, and you really want to capitalize on that moment. So for me, I'll often say, "Hey, my name is Forbes, Forbes Riley, Forbes as in the magazine." But it's like a 3 sentence thing. We hear comedy in sets of three. That's kind of how our brain is wired. And if you can say, "Hi, my name is da da da, da 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 da," and ba da 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 da, boom. That's all the amount of time that you get. Don't tell them your entire history. My name is Justin and I do digital marketing and I do digital marketing for lots of people. No, 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 you missed the point. It isn't what you do, it's actually just your name. Hi, everybody. My name is Justin, Justin Gross. Just in case you want to gross more money, I'm your guy in digital marketing. Interesting, right? I can do this with a lot of different names, and I love doing it because here's the thing: when you meet somebody, you have a tiny little window to drop a little nugget in. And this comes from a lot of my NLP training. NLP is neuro linguistic programming. What that principle is, and I've got a master's in this, is how your brain communicates with your mouth and how you talk to other people. And that's how you get results. That's what the pitching concept is. That's what all of communication is. I have a thought, I'm talking to you right now, and I'm hoping that you get it and understand it and then implement it. Got it, got it, got it. Okay. When we first meet, you're like, "Hey, my name is so and so. Why are we talking? What is it you want from each other?" Well, the first thing people usually do is want to understand, where do you fit in the world? What do? Are you a student, a mom, a CEO, a janitor? Not that anyone is better than the other, but what do you do? The subtle part about that, though, is that people don't really care what you do. They just want to put you in a box so they can figure out how to categorize you. What is it? What field are you in? If I'm in photography and you're in construction, we might not have a common ground when it comes to what we do for a living. We might have to talk about sports. But if we're both in digital marketing, oh, there's a different level of conversation. Okay. Um, Somebody labeled me once an introverted extrovert. I looked that up in the dictionary, or I found it. And one of the things about introverts is they're not very good with small talk. Turns out that explained a lot of my life. I don't like to sit there and talk about the weather or sports teams or politics. I like to talk about marketing and what I like to talk about. And when I don't feel comfortable, I don't talk. Isn't that weird? Or I spin gym, or I do something else. But the small talk thing doesn't really get me. So I like to know that when I'm talking to somebody, it matters. And that means either I have something to serve them with, a product they might like, a service they might like, a conversation or an idea, or they have something that I might learn from or be interested in. And if all this sounds weird, I apologize, but this is the inner workings. People always ask me, how do you get where you are? Here's the biggest secret. When people ask you, what do you do? I believe they really want to know, what could you do for me? Okay, so how does this work? You can say, "Hey, I drive traffic," which a lot of my digital marketers say, and like most of my brick and mortar people, like, "You drive a what?" Okay, so number one, when you do jargon that's unique to your business, other people don't even know what you're talking about, and you can see the little gloss in their eyes. They're like, "Oh, that's nice. You do what?" One of my clients came to me many years ago, and he said, "I'm an ROI guy." To which I said, most people don't know what ROI is. They said, "Oh, of course they do." No, people in your circle know what that is. But if you're going to get out of your circle, you have to find something that the masses can understand. So what he says now is, "Hey, I'm the ROI guy. That stands for return on investment. You give me $3, I'll give you $10 back." And I'm bummed. Now I get it, right? And that raises a lot of great conversation. Another one of my students, he said, "How come everyone calls me Heinrich? It's not my name." I said, "Because we drink Heineken beer. It's a culture." He said, but that's not my name. I said, I know. So let's make it matter. When you meet somebody, I want you to say, hi, my name is Henrik. That's Henry in Swedish. Wow, well, that does two things. One, it lets the person that you're talking to realize that you're from Sweden, because most Americans get very obsessed with, is that an English accent? Are you Australian, New Zealand? Where are you from? I don't need to waste time. I know where I'm from. I'm from Sweden. My name is Henrik, like Henry. And for years, I remember that because we make these things memorable. Oh, and when you're memorable, you're memorable. That's the whole point, right? Somebody meets you at a party, get a whole stack of cards, and they put your name in your phone, and who did I meet tonight? Oh, I met that Forbes girl. Yeah, she's like a magazine. She must be money. So I'm going to encourage you to practice this. And that's what the whole principle number 2 is all about, doing introductions. And you got to practice it. You really do. You got to find something that works for you and then work it. So the final thing is the what you do. So imagine somebody says, well, what can you do for me? So rather than say, I'm a digital marketer, you might say, hi, I've mastered a technique on the internet where I can help your business make money for you while you're sleeping. Oh, well, I want to know more about that. Or one of my branding photographers, she said, I'm a branding photographer. Good for you. Or you can say, I take images of people just like you, and I turn them into actual branding materials that earn you money. Oh, well, I want to know about that. So I've twisted it around so that when you articulate it and somebody says, what do? You have an answer that's engaging, that gets a yes, that gets them involved, and all of a sudden that meeting matters, and that's what matters to me. So that's what chapter 2 is about. And I think at the end of this, I talk about dream it, believe it, and achieve it. From chapter 1 to start knowing what you want. And for here, write your name down and find a way to add your credibility and a but. And if you're confused all about that, reach out to me on social media. I love doing this. I think it's one of the big secrets on networking, which as an entrepreneur is the lifeblood of what you do. All right, I'll see you in the next lesson.